This is Blender, and this is a 3D cube that I put on a plane. I can control its rotation entirely with this rotation gizmo, and if I turn off my overlays, there's nothing 2D about it. Tons of calculations are being performed to render this 3D cube, which I can show you over here. Before I explain how the math behind this works, I'll just show you what you can do with the shader. As you've already seen, you can rotate the cube in 3D space, but you can also change the intensity of the perspective with this value. Increasing it all the way up to 100 means we're approximately rendering an orthographic view of the cube, so there's little to no perspective on this. If we once again decrease this value to about 3, we see the cube has a lot more depth now. And rotating it certain ways occludes certain faces. Bringing it any lower isn't that helpful, because it'll eventually become this sharp mess with way too much depth. Additionally, if you've been looking at my outliner, you can see there's a hidden lighting gizmo. If I unhide this and select it, I can actually move this point in real time to change the lighting. You can bring this lighting object behind and under the plane, and it'll still behave as intended. The lighting on this is really simple, and I'll just quickly break down how it works. Here I'm using a mask that sections out each face. From here, I can multiply just its negatives by a certain vector, which I've calculated beforehand to be exactly the normal vector at the face we're looking at. Once that's done for 6 individual faces, I'm just using a maximum node to combine them all. If I make the renderer orthographic again, we can see more faces at once. Rotating it now showcases the dynamic normals I've implemented. They use the rotation of this empty as an input to actually rotate the vectors individually. And comparing the artificial normals I just crafted and the generic normals of a cube, we can see that the vector field on this plane perfectly matches the appearance of the normals on this cube. And just as we can light this cube now in 3D space with the Lambertian diffuse shader, we can light the bottom cube on the plane with the same shader. Because we've reconstructed the same input, the normals, we can effectively recreate the target lighting of the cube. Okay, I'm about done, but one more thing in this shader is that it has a point mask too. You can use this mask to separate just the points or make a simple visual with it. Really, I just left it in because it's fun. Rotating the empty now gives us this. It's pretty obvious that it's 3D, but we can still decrease the perspective once again to make the circles appear more as orbs in 3D space. If I set my perspective really low to something like 2, we see some of the circles shrink and some enlarge. Rotating only the cube's vertices now, we see that this shrinking and growing is fully dynamic. So whatever vertex is closest to the camera is shown to be biggest. If you want to see more about how this advanced 3D shader was made, and also play around with it a bit, you can download it for free on Gumroad in the link below. Again, I mean you can really just download this for free. I made this just for fun and intellectual pursuit, and that's why I'm letting anyone access it. So again, go to the link below and you can download it now.